Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? One of the things that we kind of sprinkled in throughout the show today are some of the tidbits from these interviews that Kay Adams did with Saints players during her stop at Saints camp on Wednesday. And she sat down with Cam Jordan. There were two things that stood out. First, Cam Jordan has been pretty adamant that he wants to play until he gets to 130 sacks. Here's why.
It's some things in there, right? Anything after 125 is undeniable gold jacket status. I think 130 is just a solid, clean number. And that's just my next goal. And after I achieve 130, then we'll talk about 150.
We looked it up. 14 Hall of Fame eligible players have 130 or more. 11 of them are in Ken. That's the number.
Seems like it's the number. And then there's some guys that have like 87 and 97 sacks, and I'm not sure what the standard is for that, other than they had Tom Brady.
Terrell Suggs. If you're wanting the ones who have cleared 130 that aren't yet in the Hall of Fame, Terrell Suggs at 139, Jared Allen at 136, John Abraham at 133, Leslie O'Neal at 132 and a half. Those are the ones that aren't in the Hall of Fame that have reached. That's the official leaders, by the way. And the reason there's official and unofficial is because sacks didn't become an official statistic until 1980. Am I remembering this correctly? 1982. There it is. Sacks became an official statistic in 1982. So there's an unofficial list and then an official list. So if you look at the official list of sack leaders, the all-time sacks, Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Kevin Green, Julius Peppers, Chris Dolman, Michael Strahan, Jason Taylor. The top 7 are all in the Hall of Fame. Terrell Suggs is next, and he'll at 139, he'll get in the Hall of Fame. DeMarcus Ware's in, Richard Dent is in, John Randall is in, Jared Allen at 136, he'll get in as well. John Abraham at 133 and a half, he'll get in. Leslie O'Neal at 132 and a half, eventually will get in. So then you go and look at the active list. Even guys like LT, Ricky Jackson at 128, Derek Thomas at 126, Dwight Freeney 125 and a half. Von Miller, who's still active, is the active career leader at 123 and a half. He'll get in. Robert Mathis at 123, Simeon Rice at 122, Clyde Simmons, who played from 86 to 2000 at 121 and a half, and then there's Cam Jordan at 117 and a half. So, and for what it's worth, J.J. Watt, who is a first ballot Hall of Famer, undeniable, is at 114 and a half. So maybe some injuries and cut his career a little bit shorter, only 11 years. Maybe that's why that number's a little lower. But he's gonna get in. So just because, like Aaron Donald, who's retired now, is at 111. But Aaron Donald, of course, is going to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer whenever his day comes. So, how about Chandler Jones and Justin Houston, each at 112 sacks? I mean, those are two guys who are on pace, according to that criteria. There are benchmarks that are sort of undeniable. It's irrefutable. And Cam is right there on the precipice. The disappointing thing for Cam Jordan is he's not going to get to a Super Bowl. And I'm being presumptive, I know that, but I don't think the Saints are going to get there this year, and I don't think they're close. So if Cam Jordan stays in New Orleans, he's not going to get there. The Saints could do something for Cam like the Texans did for J.J. Watt, where they said, look, we're going to trade you or release you just to give you the opportunity to go somewhere where you can win. Ndamukong Suh chased Super Bowls late in his career. Tampa, L.A., the Eagles. Maybe Cam does something like that in the twilight of his career. I know he wants to win one in New Orleans. They're just not close. So maybe you have something unforeseen happen that we've talked about, like when New England won it with Tom Brady. It was unforeseen. Or the Eagles with Nick Foles. It was unforeseen. You could have a Kurt Warner situation. But those are such outlier circumstances that they're impossible to predict. But for Cam Jordan, he'll be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. But he's at 117 and a half, and he had 2 sacks last year. So he's got to find some juice that he lacked a year ago or his career is going to end and he's going to fall short of that number. But how much longer at a high level can Cam Jordan play, and was last year an outlier? Is that the trend to expect? The other thing that they talked about was Sean Payton coming back to the Dome. And, of course, Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos will be in the Dome for Thursday Night Football. Listen to this interaction.
What's the crowd like?
It's here. What do you mean? I hope he gets booed when he comes in.
Do you really think he gets booed?
No, because he won a championship here. No, but I hope he gets booed. Like, how dare you go somewhere else? If they boo, I'm gonna boo with them because because he's gonna feed off of it. Like, there's nothing you can do to Sean Payton to affect Sean Payton.
Was Cam? Obviously, he loves Sean Payton. He loves his coach. There's no misgivings there. But he'll be on the other sideline. That's also undeniable. So when you hear Cam Jordan say that he hopes Sean Payton gets booed, do you think he's just joking, or do you think this is out of like legit hard feelings? That again, I need to say this properly. Yes, he loves his coach. They'll be forever linked, all that stuff. But do you think there's like this feeling of Cam going, man, I've been here my whole career. I stuck it out. I wanted to be here to win here. You left, and now look at the situation. But Cam's the one who pretty consistently says, why can't it be us? Why can't we win the Super Bowl in New Orleans this year? And I respect that tremendously. I also think that is, he's existing in a fantasy land in that respect. But I don't know. How do we think he, like, I wonder if there's any animus there just for the fact that he left. What do you think?
I think it could be a little bit of both. I think it's more in jest, but I mean, when you hear him say right there, where he's like, he doubles down, he's like, I hope he gets booed, and then comes back with, like, how dare you go somewhere else?
I think that was a joke. Like,
well, I mean, is it?
It was tongue-in-cheek.
Okay. I mean, like I said,
like, I don't think he booed. Like, he's saying it from a fan's perspective. He was saying it. Let's do it again. He was saying it from a fan's perspective.
I mean,
where it's like, I hope he's booed. Like, how dare you go somewhere else? Like, that's what the fans would be thinking. And I think the fans will boo him. But then Cam at the beginning said no, like he's not going to get booed.
I don't think he's going to get booed.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I could very very much see the Saints doing something around that game for Sean Payton. Actually, the guy won a Super Bowl in New Orleans. He should never be booed ever, except for when he unnecessarily would throw the challenge flag because he was mad.
I mean, Bobby Hebert got booed.
It's different, though.
It's not.
It is.
Muse. I'm telling you, as someone who's been a lifelong fan of the team, who went to games when Bobby Hebert was playing, it's not. He was, because there was no, you have to remember, there was no premise of a championship. There was no awareness of that at the time. Bobby Hebert led the Saints to the first ever playoff appearance in 1987. The Dome Patrol, those years, like, those were the best year. Those were the best years.
Right.
So that's the perspective. He goes to Atlanta, comes back, and is booed roundly.
That's the thing. What? He also went to Atlanta.
It doesn't
I
matter.
think that matters for
I
sure.
get it, but it doesn't matter in the sense that he could have stayed. There was friction contract, and so he left. And it's the same thing when you come in as an opponent in that building. I'm just telling you, man. You will have, I think, some cheers, but, and I also don't know that there's going to be a moment where they announce the coach. You know, like, it's not like a starting lineup. Well, actually, they do. No, because when they announce the Saints starting lineup. When they come on, the opponents come on the field. I don't know if they're going to say in the head coach is Sean Payton, like they do in an NBA game, where they announce the starting lineup and then the head coach. Maybe they will. I guess maybe they will, but I just don't know that there's going to be this very obvious moment where they announce him. If they do, I think you'll have cheers, but you're going to have a lot of boos. I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot of boos.
I don't think you should boo him.
I agree.
I don't think you should.
I think this is a poll question. I would love to know what people, like, will you boo Sean Payton? Maybe that'll be closer to the week of the game. We'll find out. May also have a lot to do with how the Saints are doing at the time. Yeah. Because if the Saints are, what's that? Is that week
7?
7? So if they're, the bye's late, bye's week 12. So if they're like 1-6.
Oh. I think everybody's getting booed.
That's my point.
If they're 1-6, everyone's getting booed.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.